I knew one day I would do it real big.
All right. So my guy, Julius Thomas Trimble. So Julius, I know you as one of the most creative people I've ever met. And you've always pushed past creative obstacles and basically with a brilliant strategy and execution, and just watching you raise an immense amount of awareness around the things that you were doing, even in college, it was just awesome for me to see. And I think you're pretty masterful in a lot of ways. But we're going to jump around into different topics today. But before we dig into all of those things, could you tell the listeners, what you do and what you're all about?
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. First and foremost, Robert. Number one, I am we. We all are a product of our environment, an accumulation of life events to this present moment. So when I ask like who I am, like I simply must respond like I am my community. I'm made up of two loving, very inspirational parents, a tight-knit inner circle and extended family. I have a group of very positive, very blessed, motivated friends to keep me company as well. And so, yeah, so I am my community. But what I do, I am a licensed financial professional, but I do many things. But they really can all be kind of traced back to one thing. They all can be categorized and back to one. And what that is that I'm a leader and I'm an advocate for self-love. I help people believe in themselves, invest in themselves so they can become their best self. Ultimately, I believe that, as everybody working their own vision and their own plans, that collectively we can become a better society of stronger individuals together. So whether you're asking, and we're talking about financial literacy, purchasing your first investment property, or were you talking about inspiration? I'm here to help you be you.
Love that, Julius. Financial professional that just focuses on the community. I love that. So, before all of these things started, could you tell us a little bit about young Julius, what you did and how you were growing up, and what led you to becoming who you are and what you're doing today?
Well, like I said, quick fact, actually, I go by many names, JT, Julius, Jew, more life. But my actual legal first name is Julius Thomas. Like my first name is actually two first names. It's Julius Thomas, because I was named after both my father and my grandfather. My father, Bishop Julius Calvin Trimble, and my grandfather, Thomas Granberry, who's an entrepreneur in his own right. He was actually the first Black registered electrician in the city of Chicago in the 1950s. And he helped did a lot of great things. I also coined the name Young Julius at one age. So, so like I said, you call me many things, man. Just make sure you call me, man. That's okay. But to tell you about who I was growing up, and very simply, I was persistent. I was creative. I was always been myself. I will tell you a quick story that kind of sums up kind of my childhood. Quick anecdote. They say like the first memory that people have is around like the age of 3 years old is like the first time like people remember something at an older age. Do you recall your first memory?
I don't know, not really.
Not really. It kind of fades. Like I said, you probably, if you really thought about it, like the first, you probably like, on the playground or something like, or whatever. But like, there's usually like something that, if you really think about it, like, what's the first thing, whatever. But my first memory, the reason why I can remember these two stories, one is my mom tells this one story very often. And so the first one was I was at my aunt's house, my Aunt Constance's house. And I was doing a drawing. And my mom's friend came by and she was just like gassing me, or she was loving. She was just like, "Oh man, this is so awesome, man. This is so wonderful, man. Can I have one?" So I was like, $1. That was my first story of entrepreneurship, creating. But then my first real memory came, like the one that I think about most often happened also when I was 3. This was the summer of '91, and I was in Cleveland, Ohio, in my parents' crib, and I remember us watching the Chicago Bulls play the Los Angeles Lakers in the finals, and I just remember like it was yesterday. Like I remember I was standing in front of the TV and I saw Michael Jordan's iconic that reverse layup and so forth. And I remember specifically because like my whole family was sitting around watching. My dad, who's a Chicago native, huge Michael Jordan fan, I just remember him doing this like all day. Like that's just like distinct in my mind. We were all like cheering and watching and stuff and everything. But I just remember my dad, doing motion this layup and so forth, and now, as an adult and all throughout, that's one of Michael Jordan's like biggest moments that, you think of and stuff, whatever. So it's something that always stands out to me in my mind. It's kind of a cool, interesting story about me. But to sum it up, my childhood in 2 stories, 3 things: creativity, entrepreneurship, and greatness. And like I said, I could elaborate more and kind of talk more about but it's really more all the same. I was given a lot of avenues and paths to success at a young age. I was giving like teachers, mentors who helped me with my schooling, helped really kind of focus on my creativity in those areas. I even was able to paint a mural of Martin Luther King Jr. in my high school. It still stands to this day. Wow. I was also given a lot of partners and people to partner with, like kind of start my early entrepreneurship businesses as well. So like sold candy by the thousands. Like we did that a few years in high school. Then also went and selling sneakers on eBay, when that was kind of a new thing and so forth. So, to really kind of say like, I always kind of had a group of people doing great things, people who look like me. So, Black excellence. So, it was always good being around like the people who really kind of helped raise me. And that really always gave me kind of a sense of self and confidence in self. So, yeah, I mean, really only makes sense now that, we're able to pay it forward now, as adults.
That's awesome. Dang, that is so awesome. I feel like you really had an amazingly colorful like time growing up. So that's super cool. And I feel like that makes sense because when I think one of the first times that I saw you on campus, you just had this like brilliant presence and it was really unmatched, honestly. And I feel like you always people always gravitated toward you. And I don't know if you've played football or something. You still had these broad shoulders. I'm like, yo, this dude
1 year.
But I'm like, this dude is a monster. But so when we think about, insurance or even financial literacy overall, some people may not necessarily get excited, but I know for a fact that if you're doing it, it's definitely something that's impactful and lucrative. So, what's the thing that you think most people kind of miss out on when it comes to insurance and insurance plans and things like that?
That's an excellent question. Because you're right, like it's a lot of people miss the boat on a lot of things. Just be like saying, and just need to be made aware of what's out there. And so, I once heard communication can save a nation. You ever heard that before? That phrase?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I actually just recently heard it. Somebody saying, but I know I'm like, yeah, that's not news. Well, I believe miscommunication and misinformation results in stagnation. The reason most people are hesitant about anything is because it's most often misinformation. Because we all knew better, we do better, right? So the biggest misnomer and cause of confusion with many people in insurance plans is the difference between term and permanent insurance. Many confuse all insurance policies with term or temporary policies that don't offer the same tax code and saving benefits. Most people believe insurance only pays your loved ones when you pass away. That's like most often term insurance or temporary insurance plans that are designed to only pay benefits to your beneficiaries if you die during a specific term or time. They're temporary, only offer coverage like while you work at a job or employed at a company. So like, it's only over a specific period of time is like a term, or temporary, which is mostly off is like if your job offers you life insurance policy or something like that. It's only while you're working there that life insurance policy will pay out a death benefit. But there's no tax code advantages. There's no anything additional. There's no cash value associated with those temporary and term policies. Now, permanent life insurance allows you, the living owner, access to these growing assets you've invested in your own discretion whenever needed. So you have access to the money that you're depositing into your permanent life insurance policies that is going up with the market, mind you, as well, but that you can take out at your own discretion. So it's really like a financial tool for you to set aside money safely. Permanent insurance policies are true financial vehicles that they're basically designed to do three things: help you save, protect, and grow your income.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I feel like you are very well versed in this information. How did you amass so much information regarding like insurance and financial literacy?
Well, like I said, when I talked about I am my community, well,
Mhm.
that's the answer to that question. Like I defer to people of greater knowledge to get my knowledge in all aspects and everything that I do. And so in financial literacy and in the insurance field, like I have a team and partner and people I work with who've been doing this for decades and have been, helping families for long periods of time. And they're able to pass that knowledge down to me and disseminate the information. And like when I'm able to take in things that make sense to me, I just get real passionate about them and want to share them. And so that's kind of where I'm at as far as, I've got a team that I defer to and I work with when it comes to these things, and they educate me and they help me, like I said, be educated so I can, share this information with other people who need it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I really like the fact that you're so passionate about it, because I feel like that's what helps draw people in. Because if you don't know what you're talking about, it's like, oh man, I don't want to listen to this guy. But I think the way that you eloquently outlined all that information, it was easy for me to understand it. And I'm just like appreciative of you just sharing that information. So, I know that you do a few different things and you're a really, really busy person. Some people call it multi-potentialite or Renaissance man. Why do you think you have so many why do you like having so many balls in the air, and how do you manage your work-life balance, if you can at all?
Well, thank you. Thank you. But I actually think that you really could call most people multi-potentialites or Renaissance men and women. If you think about it, because we all like different things. Like we're all good at different things. You know what I mean? Like you can be, a great father, a great brother, great at your job, like sports, different things and stuff, and invest your time in all those things accordingly. And be, like I said, I think that a lot of people do a lot of different things. And so sometimes we just don't give ourselves credit for the things that we're doing and we're really good at. So like, but personally, I believe in diversification. Like why I do so many different, I believe in different diversification. I believe you got to invest your time into different things, different people, different stuff. Because I think that's how you get the more complete a whole life. Like I think that's how you get the most successful life possible, in my opinion, personally, is like I said, putting your time in different places so you can learn more, so you can be more, so you can be more complete. Because there's not one cookie cutter person on this earth. There's not one person who only eats one thing 3 times a day. We all are doing different things and like invested in different things and times. And when you're able to like kind of tap into those things and, I don't know, everything is everything. These things they need to connect, they need to flow.
Right. That's so real.
Yeah. Oh, you're in how I manage my work-life balance.
Yeah.
I mean, like everybody else, one day at a time.
Yeah.
More life is my mantra, because I believe, every day is a new opportunity. Every opportunity is a new opportunity for you to experience the good and the bad, for you to appreciate that, for appreciate those moments. And so, as long as we take it in stride, it's all good. So there's another thing I live by, another mantra I live by. You might have heard of this one. Win the morning, win the day. I'm an early riser, a big planner. I'm big on schedules. So, I make the plan, work the plan, more life, man. That's how I do it. So one day at a time.
Love that. And I think as an entrepreneur, it's really hard to stay even keel sometimes. I can understand that. And I feel like, you mentioned that you've been a full-time entrepreneur for a couple years now. Is there anything that you do on a regular basis to stay motivated? I know, waking up early is important, but I feel like it's not always easy to do so. What do you typically do to stay motivated?
Yeah, motivation, man. Like, yeah, we all have to stay motivated. I think a good answer to that question is a why. You always got to have a why. First and foremost, I think. But the first thing I do before even I get to my why, I stay grounded in my belief in God, his plan, his vision, like first and foremost. Like, that's what I do. Like, I really trust and believe in God and his ultimate higher vision and so forth. And so that's exciting and motivating in itself to me. And yeah, and so that's kind of as far as what I search for or whatever. I find so much motivation and so many spiritual things and even just nature and these things and stuff like that, because I really believe in God, and I believe he's the person kind of calling the shots, and I'm just running an autopilot anyway. And so a couple things, tangible things that I do, music. I love music. After prayer and meditation every morning, I got to put some good music on, and that goes through the AM through the rest of my days to kind of push me out. So whatever. So, yeah, no, I also believe in self-affirmations. I believe we have to we have to talk good to ourselves and you have to believe it first yourself. I already explained more life, which is key. But yeah, no, speak it into existence. Yeah.
I love that, man. And I really feel like you are one of those people that follows their intuition, their heart. And I think, and you definitely follow, you just let God guide you. That's beautiful. And so how do you feel? Yeah. So with all of that, how do you feel about the law of attraction? Do you think it's real, and how do you implement that in your life?
It's powerful. Very powerful. Yes. How do I feel about it? Do I feel the law of attraction is real? Yes. And every day, man. Seriously, you think about it, if you really think about it, I said, we're an accumulation of our life events, right? So Robert, can you tell me, can you think about is there something that you really, really wanted, really wanted badly in your life in the past that you didn't get?
Not necessarily. Not too many things, honestly.
I feel like a lot of people don't even look at that in itself of man, I want to be in this city, or I want to be in this apartment, or I want it's really what you say is what you get. And and that's why your words are so important. And especially the words to yourself. If you man, I can't do this, man. I don't, man. It's I'm not this person, none of that stuff matters, man. What matters is what you believe, what you speak, what you go, and what you go off of. And so, yeah, no, I just think it's really so important, because words are so powerful, inward and outward. So yes, I definitely believe in the law of attraction. Ask and you shall receive.
Absolutely. Yes. I'm right there with you on that, man. And so as we transition a little bit, we'll go into the speed round. To give you a second, We're gonna adjust for a
Just
second.
watch this one.
Yeah. All right. So, with this speed round, I tried to incorporate some of the things that I know about you. I know you like different things, so we'll go ahead and jump in. All right.
All right, let's
So,
go.
all right. So Cleveland Browns or Chicago Bears?
Dog pound, man. Got to go with Browns, man. Yeah, Cleveland Browns, man. Cleveland is
Nice.
the reason.
Let's go. All right. Golf or tennis?
Um, you know, I'm not really great at either, but Tiger Woods, y'all. Gotta go with golf, I guess. A lot of money made on the golf course.
Love it. Skittles or Starburst?
Man, you got some questions today, man. How you pick between Skittles and Starburst, man? Like,
Tough.
I don't know. I will say, like, purple Skittles is undefeated, man. I never had seen somebody with a bag of purple Skittles that wasn't like, hey, let me have some. I mean, high school, college, Howard, man. Like, you got a bag of them purple Skittles, man. Come on, man.
Let me get a few. Erica Badu or Sade?
Oh, Erica Badu or Sade, man. Both beautiful Black queens, of course. But like, hey, man, like you can't really see it. It's up. Oh, X is up on this one. They said, but I got like records up on the wall, like to my favorite artists and stuff. Sade's Greatest Hits is up here, so Sade is kind of like that queen that you put on any time, any mood. Yeah, she's great.
Love it. All right, so here's the last one: equity or invoice?
Equity or invoice, man. That's a good question. That's a good question. I've been hearing that kind of go around in circles, social media a lot and things and stuff. Give me equity, man. Give me what we building, man. Like,
let's go.
I need a real piece of the pie, not like some check that's here today and gone tomorrow.
Love it. Love it. All right. And so we're going to go ahead and close out, Julius, but I know we spoke about financial literacy and the mindset required to be successful. If there was one thing that you think people could actively do in order to quickly execute the next step on their path for financial literacy or generational wealth, what would that thing be?
Yeah, that's a fantastic question. Because I'm sure there's a lot of people are going to be listening to this podcast, a lot of people who are asking themselves that question. Mm-hmm. And that's a big question. Because like I said, you gotta know where you're at, and you gotta ask that question if you want to be better. But like there's two things actually. I'm going to give you two things. It's really only one thing, but these two things are, they work in conjunction. If you don't do one of them, the other one doesn't make any sense. One is tangible, one's intangible. That's why it's really just one thing, but I'm gonna break them up and give them their due because they're equally important to answer this question. The first thing I was going to say is you must believe. Like you have to believe. Like if there's anybody watching this podcast who's on the fence, questioning their situation, can I be better? Can I be more successful? Can I retire one day? Can I become financially literate? You must believe. Like, doesn't matter if you're in your 50s, 60s, if you haven't got a penny in savings, if you're fresh out of high school, you have to first believe that if I start now, I would be better later. You have to believe that what you hope for is always better than what you have. And so, I mean, you got to believe off the rip. And so the next action step, this is the first tangible thing, the action step that you need after you have that belief, after you have that conversation with yourself about your own situation, you got to speak with a financial professional. You got to speak with a financial professional, somebody who knows what they're talking about, who can assist you. This is something that I want to share with you that just really blew my mind. You might have heard this. I've seen it all over the place, but US billionaires got about $1.2 trillion richer during the pandemic. Have you heard that? You heard those numbers?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
No, I mean, it kind of changed by the day because, some of them get a little richer each day. So I guess that 1.2 is like yesterday's Google, I guess. But the whole point is that, like, They got $1.2 trillion richer while the stock market was going down and like people were in shambles. Like, how is that even possible? Well, only 1% of the entire nation uses a financial professional to advise them or help them with their finances. And so, I mean, these people know what to do, when to do with their money. And that's simply how, the rich get richer. That's how you invest in yourself. And like I said, so if there's two things that you have to do, like I said, you got to first believe, and you got to speak with somebody who can help you. You got to speak with someone who can listen to your needs and help you craft a plan that you can believe in. You got to speak with someone who can help you save, protect, and grow your income.
Love that, Julius. And before we go, I know that I noticed the logo on that hat. What's the story around your hat? And yeah, what's that about?
Well, you can say, make sure you get the whole shot in and so forth. Nice. T-shirts coming soon as well. Don't sleep on us. This is where we're starting right now. It's called the More Life Company, and the More Life Clothing Company is actually what the hat is by. It's a nonprofit organization that my team and I have come up with, and the clothing brand is really just a vehicle for us to do more nonprofit initiatives. But yeah, this is the More Life Out the Box hat. This will be on sale next month. The pre-orders will start 2/2/22. So look out for that. It will be a website. At the More Life Clothing brand is our social handle right now. You can come check us out right now. We'll have updates and things coming up. But basically, this is, like I said, it's a clothing brand that's really encouraging people to, encourage people to more life, and most importantly, encouraging people to be their best selves. Like, these are all one of one made hats. They're uniquely made, slightly different. Each one is, might have a string or two slightly different. So they're all unique to the individual wearing them, just like the individual who's wearing them, who's one of one. And so that's really what our message is to really kind of instill self-confidence and self-belief in everybody, throughout different walks of life. And so this is just a representation of that. The More Life Out the Box hat, as you see, our logo, the 3 lives represents more life, and one life out the box is because we suggest you live at least a little life out the box.
I love that, man. You're living life on your terms, and it just seems like you're really grabbing life by the horns and taking every opportunity that you can to make it what you want. So that's incredibly encouraging and inspiring, man. Thank you for joining me today. We'll probably have to do a part 2 at some point, but until then,
awesome. I'm here.
Until then, man, thank you for the time on today's call. But yeah, and I hope you have a good day.
Awesome. I'm gonna that's a good call. I'm gonna one second.
All right. Did you make it? Swish.
Go edit that one.
That's what it's about, man.
We're gonna get one make in there.
Let's get a make.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
That's what it's about.
More life.
Julius Thomas Trimble, people.
Real big. I know one day I would do it real big.